Hello everybody. Today I'm going to show you about the Audition buttons in the Pro version of Cohler Classical. Here you'll see we've got an in point and an out point set up in the destination group between here and here. And then in source group 1, I've got an in and out point here and here, set on similar pieces of audio in two different takes. That's take 48, this is take 50. And now we want to audition those to see about doing an edit or something. If we go to the destination group, I'll start with these buttons here on the right. Now if we take a look at them, you can see we've got destination into out, source into out, destination to in, source to in, etc. all along the right side there. The first one plays between the in and out point in the destination. And all of these will automatically stop at the end. They'll also select the destination if it's not currently selected. So let's say I was down in this group, I click that button, and I can stop them early if I want to. Next one will play the same thing from in to out in the source. You can see from the icon, the arrow goes from in to out in the source. Next one is destination to the in point. And each of these is controlled by the pre-roll and post-roll, which you can set. The default setting is 2 seconds pre-roll, 2 seconds post-roll. So source to the endpoint will be 2 seconds up to the endpoint. And you can repeat these. So as you could click it, and while it's playing, you can click it again, and it'll keep going back. And you can stop it early if you want. Destination to the endpoint is the next. Next is source from the endpoint. Destination to the out, source to the out, from the out in destination, from the out in source, around the in point in destination. So that's 2 seconds before and 2 seconds after the in point destination. Same thing in source, 2 seconds before and after in, and then finally 2 seconds before and after out in destination, 2 seconds before and after out in the source. So those are your standard audition buttons for normal non-fade edit mode. Now let's say you were in a fade edit. So let's go to this fade edit here. I'll put my cursor there, hit the letter F. Now I'm in single lane fade edit mode. In that mode there are 5 buttons. One is, the first button is audition 2 seconds before and after the fade. You can see that better that way. This is audition up to the center point, 2 seconds. So then from the center point, 2 seconds. Then the third one is all the way to the end of the fade. If I zoom in, you'll see it. It'll reposition the in point at the end of the fade when I click this third button now. And just plays the fade out. It muted the second item. So it wasn't playing any of the fade in. It was just the complete fade out. Next one is starting from the fade in, but not playing any of the left-hand item. And finally, the last one is to play twice as much, so 4 seconds before and after. Whereas this first button is 2 seconds before and after. So those are your 5 buttons in single lane fade edit mode. Now if you go into double lane fade edit mode, then in this mode you have more choices. Now you can play 2 seconds before and after with the fade. That's the first button. And you can see the incoming take is on top, the outgoing take is on the bottom. Next button is to the center point. So it's the same as the command in the single lane mode. So this is to the center point of the fade with no fade out. This is from the center point of the fade with no fade in. Okay. Now we get into the things that are not available in one lane mode. So this is going to play to the center point in the outgoing take. So we'll click here. plays down here up to the center point. And then from the center point in the incoming take, that's this side of the fade. Then we have the fade out all the way to the end of the fade out, but nothing of the fade in. That's this one. So if I zoom in, you'll see that a little better. So we're going to play to the end of the fade out, which is over here. It'll reposition the cursor automatically. It's going to play right up to here. Okay. And this will play from the fade in. So that's going to play right from here with the fade in. Now we have sort of reverse things. So this is going to be the left side of the outgoing take over here, including the fade out, or the right side of the incoming take, including the fade in. And then finally, this is sort of the reverse. This is playing the left side of the outgoing, fading to the right side of the incoming. So it's going to play from down here up to fade to up here, which is the opposite of what you actually have. In other words, the normal thing is this, left side of the incoming fading to right side of the outgoing. So you have these 10 different choices. You also have the choice of changing the fade setting and then using the space bar as you like. So for example, if I set it to fade out and mute, that's going to fade out the incoming take and mute the outgoing take completely. So when I play this with the space bar, it plays to the end of that fade out and keeps playing with silence after that. Or mute fade in. Now you can see the incoming is muted and this is faded in. Or just the incoming take only. Or the outgoing take, the reverse fade in and mute and the reverse fade out. So you can choose which fade settings you want and then use the space bar, or you can use these buttons which set one of the fade settings and automatically immediately audition. So those are your three modes. You have the normal not in fade edit mode audition buttons, and those are here, as you can see. And then if you're in single lane fade edit mode, you have those 5 buttons. And then if you're in double lane fade edit mode, you have these 10 buttons. And you have these choices for fade settings as well. And I should say, of course, you have keystrokes for all of those things as well. And when you mouse over a button, it shows you the keystroke. So you can learn the keystrokes from the buttons, you can use the buttons, you can use the keystrokes. But that's all there is to audition buttons in Cohler Classical. Everything you need to do is just one click away.